Thank you, Pete. Thank you, Darren. And good afternoon, Sean. Congratulations, firstly, on guiding the Clarets to a 6th consecutive season in the top flight. That's a remarkable achievement, and I'll come to that in a moment. But firstly, Sean, can I just ask you about Nuno's departure at Wolves? Your reflections on him as a manager and his success at Wolves and his teams that you've played against?
Funnily enough, I've just been in a meeting with the players, so I've literally just found out. Look, I mean, I think he's done a fantastic job down there. I don't know the ins and outs of the situation there, quite obviously. He's done a very good job there. Had some very good players to get them where they've got to, but lost some very good players more recently as well, and it always makes a difference, quite obviously. Recruitment is king in being successful. I think it's very important. And if you're selling players, it makes it very tough. There is a balance to everyone's situation, and I'm sure there is at Wolves as well. Some decisions have to get made. But he has lost some very good players there. But generally, I think he's done a very good job.
Sean, I was in the press conference with Nuno at 1 p.m. and he didn't mention he was leaving Wolves, even though I asked him about his plans for the summer and next season. And then at 2 p.m. it was announced that by his club that Sunday was going to be Nuno's last day. Can I just make sure, Sean, Sunday isn't going to be your last day as Burnley boss, is it?
I wonder where the link was going there. I'm not quite sure where this is going, to be honest. But now I see your point. Well, unless I'm told by the powers that be it is. I'm not planning on that at the moment, no. I've been asked many times over my time here, actually, since probably our first promotion, linked with other places. And I've said all along, I'm still here. I've equally said that, times do change eventually in football. It's very rare you're in a job for life, of course. So Alex Ferguson and legends of the game and, Arsene Wenger and these guys, of course. But, generally speaking, life does change in football. But no, I'm still here. So let's see where the future goes.
Thank you, Sean. I just didn't want to get caught out twice in 2 hours.
It's a fair one.
But listen, you talk about the transient nature of football, and in that spirit, if Sunday was your last game at Burnley, what would your highlight be? Because your legacy is assured. I'm sure.
Well, hang on. I know where this is going. It's not my last day. No one said anything about last days. I've had lots of highlights at Burnley, and I hope there's more to come. I don't know where this train of thought's going, but I know where it's trying to go. But trust me, I'm still here. I'm still working hard for this football club. We've still got another game to go. We're still planning on recruiting and all the things that go on at a football club. I've had many highlights in my time here, and this season's been one of them because it's been a very tough season, a lot going on, the sale of a club and all the complexities that have been behind the scenes, and a massive injury list. But I'm pleased to say a group of players who give their lot a lot of the time, if not all the time, to allow us to be in the Premier League and continue in the Premier League.
And I meant it in the most complimentary fashion possible because your legacy is assured. And as I say, a statue of Dyche will be there at one stage very, very soon. Can I just ask you, Sean, any early team news, bumps and bruises ahead of the game against the Blades?
Probably the most positive news so far is Popey. I think he's got a chance and he's settled down. His body's settled down. His knee that was just troubling him a little bit. So we'll see how he goes over the next couple of days, but that's positive. The rest are pretty much intact apart from the ones I've mentioned who are longer term. Dale Stevens, Kevin Long, Robbie Brady. They'll all be missing out. And Bardo, of course, as well. Sorry, Phil Barsley, he'll be missing out as well. So still a few young lads involved. So look, we've had injuries all of the season. It's been very, very tough. Some of the big stuff, stuff that's out of your control, of course, that can happen. But some of the little stuff and the things that you were hoping would have not affected us have done. But it's allowed us to still get there and still be in the Premier League. So we hope for better times ahead on the injury front.
Can I ask you about Sunday? What are you looking forward to most, Sean, out of the game?
I think we've been a bit, I don't want to say unfortunate because you can't be too unfortunate if you're losing 4-3 in your last two games, but I think the clinical edge of games has gone against us a little bit. So I'd like to think that, some of the chances that have gone in don't, and we create enough as we have done to score more goals, and we do find our own edge. But mainly it's the performance level. I wouldn't knock the performance level of the players. It's been pretty consistent, certainly since Christmas onwards and more or less since Game 7. We've been pretty consistent on the performance levels. I believe in the performance levels. So regardless of the fact of the game and the feel of the game, I want us to perform. I want us to go out there, finish the season with a performance and see where that takes us.
You did it with the Clarets, and you know Sheffield United's a great club as well. Any advice to the Blades on trying to bounce back immediately?
I think you have to find your own way. We have done it. It's a tough task, but the teams have shown it this year. Norwich, Watford, they've shown it. Bournemouth still in with a chance. Look, it's a tough ask, but it can be done, and they've shown that. You have to find your own way. I don't think there is the exact way of doing it. We found a way, and others will have to.
Sean, I mentioned it at the top of the chat. Although it's been a battle until the last couple of weeks of the season, it's an extraordinary achievement for a club like Burnley to achieve a 6th consecutive season in the Premier League. Just how proud are you of that? And explain how big an achievement is that in today's game?
Well, I've never lacked a sense of pride in what we've done as a team, myself, my staff, the players, the club, actually, the fans, the whole thing. I've never lacked pride in it, win or lose. I think I'm always proud of what's been achieved and what can be. I think this season's just been such a challenge. And by the way, I don't want to cry it in too much. It's been a bigger challenge for the world and the country. I mean, a massive challenge with the COVID situations. I'm certainly not going to start crying it over football. But in my world and in the world of football, then it has been a very, very big achievement for us this season. And you only really know on the inside of the camp, and I know some of the challenges I've been through, as a manager. And off the pitch is difficult, and it has been difficult. But on the pitch, yet again, a group of players who put sweat on the shirt, they give every ounce of themselves when needed to get the right points on the table, to win the right games. And some really high spots in the season as well. Things like there was always a bit of a hoodoo over Arsenal. We beat them at their place. We beat Liverpool at their place, and so there has been some real highlights as well. So don't get me wrong, there's been some really enjoyable times this season, but there's been a lot of really tough times. And no fans has been a thing that's gone against everyone in football, of course. It'd be great if that works out and we can get fans back in the stadium. So there's a lot going on, but I'm certainly not going to over-egg it about football. There's been people lost lives and friends and loved ones, and it's been a poor situation across the country and across the world. So never would have let football get in the way of that. But in my world, it has been a tough season.
Sean, in the last 24 hours, your ownership group have been heavily quoted saying that they're going to support you financially during the summer to enhance your squad. Was that music to your ears?
I don't think it's music to my ears because you need it to come to fruition. The chats that I've had have been positive about the situation. They've also been an idea on not like a situation of ripping it up and starting again financially. I think there's layers going to be put in place. I hope so. I think they're talking in the right way in the sense of finding out the finances here and how it works and how they can move forward. It's been well run in a sense. We've never really stretched, hence a very healthy bank balance on the turnover of the club. Now it's how can we stretch, but without breaking. I've always said that. I've always said to the last ownership or the board and the chairman and this one, tell me what I've got to manage and I'll manage it to the best of my ability. If you've got nothing, you've got nothing. If we've got something, we've got something. So I think that's the truth of it as I see it. They know that. If they can support us with finance, that's going to be very helpful, quite obviously, because the game strongly suggests you have to put enough finance in to get the quality of player in to make sure that you're in the Premier League. And we've got a good base to build from here. I believe in all the players here. I said that this season, even with our injuries. I said it even though we only spent 750,000. I still said when this group is fit and ready, then they can challenge. And we have come a long way in the process to where we are today. I appreciate we're only one spot above the relegated teams, but a pretty healthy points tally there, for that spot. So I've been pretty pleased overall. So a lot of work still to be done. And like I say, if the new owners can help us with that, with the finance, then I'm sure they'll try.
Sean, just two real final quick ones from me. I really appreciate your time. I saw a line earlier this morning saying that the club have welcomed 28 promising young players from around the world for a trial after talent spotting them using a new app. And apparently the app invites footballers to film themselves undertaking physical and technical challenges, and then an algorithm tailored to Burnley style of play and recruitment strategy assesses their performance.
Well, the club are trying to move things forward, as a club. I don't think that kind of system is ready for first team players, but I think there's a chance. You are, the way the modern game's working, when you're talking about trawling players, which lots of clubs do, by the way, worldwide, way bigger than our scouting network. Some of the giants of this game, they are worldwide now at a very, very young age. I know some of the inside stories of some of the big academies and what age they're signing players at and where they're getting these players from, far and wide. So if it's a layer on top of the club that they feel there can be some players come out of that, because obviously there's no guarantees, then who knows? I think we've got to be open-minded the way the world works now, particularly with social media, and particularly finding some golden nuggets through a system. Who knows? But I don't think they're going to be applying it to my world in the first team quite yet. I don't think there's enough evidence it can work with that. And a couple of my mates are not quite in the shape, but they might film themselves in and send it in and see if they can get in the side. You never know.
Somebody who is definitely in your first team is James Tarkowski. Is there an update on his future? Do you expect him to positively move forward in the next few days and weeks with Burnley and for him to be a player with you in July?
Yeah, there's no reason not to. He knows the situation, what we think of him here, and he knows how an important player that he is here and a very good player.
Sean, I really appreciate your time. Have a good one on Sunday and have a good summer.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chris.